Hello. So today I'll be talking to you about Carolyn Jean Spellman. She was born in New Mexico, Gallup, New Mexico, United States, to Leonard and Hazel Arthur Spellman. Her family had moved to Chico, California, where she and her brother Richard grew up. She earned her bachelor's and her master's degree in history, political science, and English literature from Chico State University, while her brother went to the California Institute of Technology, Caltech, where he earned a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering. Richard's roommate at Caltech was a young graduate student named Jean Shoemaker. Carolyn did not meet Jean until the summer of 1950, where she attended her brother's wedding. Jean had moved to New Jersey by 1950 to begin working toward a doctoral degree at Princeton University, but he flew back to California to be her brother's best man at his wedding, so that's where she met him. He then returned to his studies at Princeton. However, Carolyn and Jean remained pen pals, and they followed this with a 2-week camping trip on the Colorado Plateau. And on August 18th, 1951, Carolyn and Jean married. They had 3 children together. Their family lived in Grand Junction, Colorado, Menlo Park, California, and Pasadena, California, before settling down in Flagstaff, Arizona, where she worked in collaboration with her husband at the Lowell Observatory. The first job Carolyn held was teaching the 7th grade after marrying Jean. She was feeling very unsatisfied, very unfulfilled with the teaching profession, so she quit to raise her family. At the age of 51, all her children had grown up. They had all moved out, so she had the empty nest syndrome where she didn't have anyone to talk at home. So she began looking for other work that would combat that. In her youth, she had never been interested in scientific topics, but she had taken one course in geology. She found it extremely boring, but meeting Jean, her husband, had changed all that. She reportedly told others that listening to Jean explaining geology made what she thought was a boring subject into an exciting and interesting pursuit of knowledge. A student at Lowell Observatory began teaching her astronomy because she was beginning to get interested. Then she began to work as a field assistant for her husband, working on his search program, mapping and analyzing impacted craters. Carolyn Shoemaker started her astronomical career in 1980. At age 51, searching for Earth-crossing asteroids and comets at California Institute of Technology in Pasadena, California, and the Palomar Observatory in San Diego, California. That year, Shoemaker was hired at the United States Geological Survey as a visiting scientist in the astronomy branch, and then in 1989, she began working as an astronomy research professor at Northern Arizona University. She concentrated her work on searching for comets and planet-crossing asteroids. She teamed with astronomer David H. Levi. The Shoemakers identified Shoemaker-Levi 9 with David H. Levi, and it was a fragmented comet orbiting the planet Jupiter on March 24, 1993. After Jean's death in 1997, Shoemaker continued to work at the Lowell Observatory with Levi and continues to work there today. In the 1980s and 1990s, Shoemaker used film taken at the Wide Field Telescope at the Palomar Observatory combined with a stereoscope to find objects which moved against the background of fixed stars. As of 2002, Carolyn Shoemaker has been credited with discovering or co-discovering 32 comets and over 800 asteroids. She once held the record for finding the most comets at one point. So she started out hating astronomy, and then she met her husband, got really interested, and now she's done a lot for astronomy and has had a lot of discoveries for astronomy. So she's a very interesting person.